Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Gaetz wants to abolish the FBI, NBC News, and unburden Representative Gaetz calls for abolishing the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other government agencies. Washington Examiner, Matt Gaetz calls to abolish weaponized Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Justice. Now, it's very interesting because to Democrats or media, this would seem, oh my God, outlandish. And I actually don't think you should abolish any of these agencies. What you should do is find a way to make them less partisan. Or I should say, find a way to remove them or to prevent them from being an extension of the Democratic Party. Okay, the Federal Bureau of Investigation does not do to Democrats what they did to Trump. Okay, there were text messages from specific agents that stated, "We'll stop Trump, he's a menace." All of these, I mean, you had specific individuals, numerous examples where they went after Michael Flynn, they went after everyone around Trump, they utilized a dossier, and this is an obvious example of bias. So it's obvious that they were biased against Trump. The reason that Democrats and media and morally superior, wonderful liberals don't see this as egregious is because it benefits them politically. If it didn't benefit them politically, they would say, oh my goodness, the federal government is weaponized against our political party or against Biden or Clinton. Okay? For example, when Hillary Clinton had servers, private servers, okay? Imagine if Trump had servers. This is like a blind spot in American politics. I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee. I don't think anything's going to stop her from becoming the Democratic Party nominee. But imagine if Trump or Pompeo or Michael Flynn or anyone in Trump's administration had computer servers, okay, siphoning classified and top secret and SAP intel. Imagine that. So if you stumbled upon this, and by the way, Matt Gaetz will probably send out a bill or write or sponsor legislation soon on this, okay? But imagine if you had a Trump Republican, okay, or Trump himself, had servers that were secret from the U.S. government for 4 years that managed to siphon classified and top secret intel. Now, people say, well, you repeat yourself all the time. It's like, well, there's a reason. But there are numerous reasons. But imagine that. Do you think James Comey would say, well, no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute Trump? Do you think maybe Comey and the other people now at CNN and other public cable stations, you think maybe Clapper and Brennan and all these intelligence chiefs would say that he was secretly Trump selling classified data or conversing with our adversaries and enemies via a secret server? Of course they would. It's called suspicion. The problem is the Federal Bureau of Investigation does not have suspicion of Democrats. They're not, they have, suspicion is politicized now. You cannot be distrustful or suspicious, or you cannot doubt the narrative promoted by the Democratic Party, which, by the way, it's really funny they went after Matt Gaetz he shouldn't have read from that specific publication, but it's like, they wouldn't even talk about the origins of you-know-what, which we find out Trump was right about, and that directly helped the national security of that country. But anyway, that's a whole other story. They went after Matt Gaetz, like, well, are you kidding me? The Democratic Party is like so compromised on so many levels. You have intelligence operatives who might have had romantic relationships with Democratic congressmen. And not just one Democratic congressman, like numerous, Democratic politicians, men. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel because it's really like, It's really a big story. Once you have Matt Gaetz talking about this, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have Lauren Boebert, you have a Republican Party that's never going back to the Paul Ryan Lincoln Project. It will never go back in time to the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republicans. Okay? These are now also extensions of the Democratic Party. It will always become more populist. Okay? The Republican Party will always now be the anti-war political party. The Democratic Party will probably be even more militant. Especially, I think Hillary Clinton will become nominee. I don't think there's anything that could stop her. I think that she's probably the best choice when you look at, just look at Fetterman, look at Biden, look at Feinstein, look at so who's better than Hillary Clinton? If you look at the Democratic Party, I'm not a fan of the Clintons, but who's better than Hillary? Who do they have just politically? I give objective political analysis. Obviously, I have my own viewpoint. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. Hit subscribe to this channel right now because I give a very unique viewpoint. I used to be the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. So I'm voting for Trump. I did 2 years ago. I'm voting again, 24, because I want the antithesis of what the Lincoln Project, Democratic Party. I don't want to be 90 seconds to midnight. I don't think anyone really knows what that is in Hollywood or in, the morally superior liberal bastion of, justice and equality and equity. It's like, well, we are actually, poverty has gone up with Biden, not down. We are more poor. We are poorer as a nation. Inflation has gone up, not down. Inflation was at 2% with Trump. It's now at 6 to 7%, going up. Food prices have gone up exponentially. We are 90 seconds to midnight, according to the Bulletin of Atomic Sciences. So, it's like, you log on the channel, it's like 203,000 subs. It's just, H.A. Goodman in front of, by the way, vintage, awesome, old school magazines. These are all vintage, fantastic. But anyway, you have to ask yourself, well, how did we get to this point where Matt Gaetz speaks for the Republican Party and what the Republican Party is going to be? No. Is Mitch McConnell want to abolish the Federal Bureau of Investigation? No. I don't think you should abolish the Federal Bureau of Investigation because you need, like they have the top 10 most wanted, you need the Federal Bureau of Investigation because you need the FBI to do its job. The FBI is important. Okay, the FBI is important for the safety and security of the average American. Politically, it should not align itself with the Democratic Party, and it has. We all know this. This is not up for debate. You'd have to be disingenuous, dishonest, and likely duplicitous to think that this agency did not align itself with Comey and even with Wray, with the Democratic Party. Wray is better than Comey, but it's like they pretty much align with the Democratic Party. It's a government agency that cares very much about public relations and media. And media and public relations are firmly against Trump. But you have Matt Gaetz, who will foster legislation eventually, along with Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And this is, let's put it this way. In 2016, I actually thought, because I was on the left, I was a Democrat my whole life, and I want Trump because I want a better foreign policy, better economic policy. If you know politics, you'll like Trump, or you'll at least say that his policies are better. If you're not into politics, you're just, then it's, oh my God, Trump is bad. I thought that the Bureau was apolitical in 2016. I thought that they would just, push to indict Clinton, because obviously servers with top secret intel, major national security risk. It's the definition of a national security issue. You have servers siphoning classified data. But see, again, That's just one example, setting up and framing Trump, which they did. Suspicion is leveled to begin investigations towards Trump. Suspicion is never leveled to begin investigations towards Democrats, and that's the issue. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. This is a big political deal, actually. You have Matt Gaetz and you have other Republicans at CPAC. The Republican Party is no longer the Bush Cheney Rumsfeld Republican Party. It's a populist party that wants to now abolish the FBI, or at least reform it to where it's not an extension of the Democratic Party. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.